Did you know that people with cluster A personality disorders are often described as being odd and eccentric? But how do you spot these disorders on an exam? And most importantly, ace it? I got you. Today we're breaking down paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal personality disorders with tips to help you crush those tricky questions that you might find on the exam. So first and foremost, personality disorders are grouped into three clusters: cluster A, cluster B, and cluster C. Cluster A includes disorders that involve odd and eccentric behavior. These folks aren't just quirky, they often have a deep rooted pattern of distrust, social withdrawal, and magical thinking. So now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to break it down so you will definitely walk away knowing everything you need to know about cluster A personality disorders. So here we go. So what are cluster A disorders? Cluster A disorders are paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. So remember that. PSS, paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal. So if you have to memorize which disorders go in this cluster. First, let's talk about paranoid personality disorder. You can see the key traits right here: distrust and suspiciousness of others. You also have someone that believes people have hidden motives. They also hold grudges and are unforgiving. So these are the characteristics that are most likely seen with someone with paranoid personality disorder. So here goes an example question or tip. If you see a question about someone constantly accusing their coworkers of plotting against them, even when there's no evidence, think paranoid personality disorder. Let's move on to schizoid. Schizoid, these individuals are emotionally detached. They prefer to be alone. They have no interest in being in relationships, and they lack close friends, and they don't give a damn. Absolutely. So when a question describes someone who works in a solitary environment, they avoid social interaction, and they don't seem to be bothered by it, think schizoid. I like to also look at this as the oid part as avoid, because they prefer to be alone. So they avoid being around people and not interested in being in relationships or having those close friends. So I always take the end of the word schizoid, that OID, and I think avoid. That's just a little memory tip that I use. This is a quick way to understand schizoid when you're trying to separate and differentiate it from paranoid and schizotypal. So let's move on to schizotypal. These individuals have odd behaviors or magical thinking. They believe that they can probably even read minds. They have eccentric behavior and they appear a little different. Social anxiety does not improve with these individuals, even if they are familiar with those that are around them. So an example here on the test would be if you see someone who wears like mismatched clothes, or they believe they can predict the future, they avoid social interaction due to just having these strange thoughts. Think schizotypal. The key here is they're not avoiding social interactions because they don't want to be around people. They're avoiding them because of the strange thoughts they might have. So that is the difference, schizoid and schizotypal. So let's move on to some exam tips so you can learn how to recognize cluster A disorders if you see it on an exam. Remember the PSS. So you have the paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. So we back up a little bit. I'm sorry, I scrolled down too far. You have suspiciousness of everyone. That's paranoid. You have the solitary individual. Like to be independent, alone, don't like to be around others. That's the schizoid. And then the schizotypal, you have the strange and quirky beliefs. So think about the type of individual when you're looking at schizoid. For the TYPAL, I like to look at type, and they're the strange type. And then I look at schizoid and I see the oid, and I'm like solitary. They avoid being around people. That's kind of my memory hack. So also, if you see on the exam anything dealing with distrustfulness, think paranoid. Detached, think schizoid. Eccentric, different, unique, weird, think schizotypal. So here goes some key differential questions. Let's break them down. When you're looking at paranoid versus schizoid, does the person actively distrust others, or do they just prefer doing things alone? That is a way you can differentiate which is which. Let's look at schizoid and schizotypal, because a lot of people get these confused. Does the person have odd and magical thinking, or they just avoid people without eccentric behavior? Which would it be? So when you're looking at fictional characters, you want to bring these characters or these disorders to life. So we're going to go ahead and move on right here. You got Uncle Joe from Family Gatherings, who always thinks people are talking about him. He a little suspicious. Yes, he has that conspiracy theorist characteristics. So we're gonna look at him and say, Uncle Joe might be a little different, but is he odd? Is he eccentric? Is he detached? Is he avoidant? What is he? Then you would realize, because he thinks people are talking about him and they're not, that he clearly has some paranoia. So we're looking at paranoid personality type. Let's move on to schizoid. Batman. We got Bruce Wayne. He stays to himself, and he stays himself, but not because of other things and other people. He just prefers to be by his lonesome. So that is schizoid. And let's move on to schizotypal personality disorder. We have Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. A lot of you are Harry Potter fans, I'm sure. Me, I'm not, but I do know there's a Harry Potter. That's the only thing I can pretty much tell you. Anyways, so Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter, she has some odd beliefs. She's very eccentric and she's socially awkward, but harmless. That is a key. A lot of times people look at individuals with schizoid personality disorder and they get schizotypal, because they have this magical thinking and these odd beliefs. They pretty much look at them as being scary or uncomfortable when they're around these individuals. And 9 times out of 10, they are completely harmless. The thoughts and the beliefs are all in their head. So let's move on to how you can ace these questions when it comes to the exam. Look for patterns. If someone is distrustful and assumes hidden motives, you got what? Absolutely paranoid. If someone avoids relationships without anxiety about it, schizoid. If someone has odd beliefs and their social anxiety, but it doesn't go away, think of schizotypal. So when it comes to eliminating wrong answers, look for consistency in behavior across the setting. So it doesn't matter if the individual's at home, it doesn't matter if they're at work, it doesn't matter if they're at church, it doesn't matter if you get the idea. You just look for that consistency. Don't confuse schizotypal with schizophrenia. Please, guys, this is a key. If you go to psychotic disorders in the DSM-5 TR, you're going to actually go down and you're going to see in that section where it has schizotypal listed, but it's going to give you a very good description of what someone with schizotypal would have versus someone with schizophrenia. So getting back on track, we want you to be able to eliminate the wrong answers. So look for that consistency in behavior. Don't get schizotypal confused with schizophrenia. And remember the key words. Paranoid, you got that suspiciousness. They're accusing people of things. Schizoid, they're kind of detached, emotionless. Schizotypal, eccentric, and magical thinking. That is the key. Magical thinking. Magical thinking. You're going to see that magical thinking pop up in your studies. You're going to see it pop up on exams. You're going to see it pop up on quizzes. You're going to see it pop. You get the idea. You're going to see it popping up. So whenever you see the magical thinking, think of schizotypal. So let's walk through a practice question. Of course, I'm sure you guys moved ahead and you can see the answer. But again, this is just to give you an idea. So let's run through this question. Something like this you might see on the exam or definitely in your test prep journey. So here goes. You got a 35-year-old man. He prefers to work alone. Hint. He avoids social events. Hint. He shows little interest in building friendships. Hint. He has no history of hallucinations or delusions. What personality disorder does he most likely have? So looking right here, I gave you the hint when it has that avoid right there. He avoids social settings and social events, not because he's weird or doesn't like to be around people or feel other people watching or looking at whatever it may be. He just prefers this. He prefers to work alone. And he also shows little interest in relationships, friendships, all of those things. Are we going with A, paranoid, B, schizoid, C, schizotypal, D, avoidant? Well, first and foremost, guys, I like to teach you guys process of elimination. So we just going to eliminate the D right then and there. We're not even talking about avoidant. That is in cluster, damn, you're smart, cluster C. Absolutely. So we're going to stick with cluster A today. And as you can see, it's paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal. Does the person show any suspiciousness? So we crossing out paranoid. So now we're down to schizoid and schizotypal. What's going on here? Does the person show any magical thinking or reading minds or anything of that nature? Nah. So we're crossing out absolutely C. So right now we have schizoid personality disorder because we have that oid there and you see it says avoid social settings and prefers to work alone. So let's go on. Bam. There we go. Guys, the smart as hell. Correct answer is B, schizoid personality disorder. The rationale, The question describes someone who is emotionally detached and prefers solitude without evidence of any eccentric beliefs or social anxiety. So guys, remember, cluster A personality disorders can trip you up on the exam if you're not careful. But now you got the tools to spot them and you can ace these questions anywhere, anyhow. Remember, it's all about recognizing patterns in how they have key traits and characteristics of each. If you found this video to be helpful, make sure you what? Make sure you, I ain't even got to tell you guys to make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. And I don't even know why I got this in to remind me, because you guys know what to do. Bonus question, quick challenge. What disorder involves magical thinking? I said it about 15 million times, so I know you got it. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, because we all trying to win. If you need more test prep strategies and you need that accountability and something a little bit more structured, check us out at www.coachingtheelite.com. Yes, we have the ultimate test prep. It is called the Elite Test Prep course, and it is helping people ace this exam and tap into their skill set so they can win and do what they need to succeed. Check out the reviews, check out the content, get a little glimpse of what we're offering there. I'm sure you're going to love it, and it's going to really break down this test to make it easy and, most importantly, passable. Until the next one, be blessed. You have an amazing day.